You ever drive up to your own place thinking, what's the worst that could have happened while I was gone? Maybe a branch through the shed. Maybe a raccoon broke into the trash. That was me rolling up the old gravel county road expecting the usual mess after being away. I did not expect to see a brand new fishing lodge squatting right where my grandfather's canoe used to rest. No, seriously, I damn near bit the steering wheel. Now I know what you're thinking. How does a fishing lodge just appear out of nowhere? Trust me, I was asking the same thing. There it was, cedar siding, shiny metal roof, big old deck with Adirondack chairs and a dock poking into my private lake. Real cute. Someone had even nailed up a big wooden sign, Silver Pines Lakefront Fishing Lodge, private access for HOA members only. Like, is this a prank? Did I miss an email from the universe? So I roll up, heart hammering. My family's name has been on this land since the 60s. My grandfather bought it from the state, and every inch of it's been deeded, taxed, surveyed, you name it. This is not some community park, not some shared shoreline. It's mine. But the world apparently didn't get the memo. Two guys in neon vests are working on the deck. They barely glance at me. One looks over older, big silver beard, sunglasses so shiny I can see my own scowl in them. Morning, he says, all casual. You with the HOA too? I kill the engine and step out. Which HOA would that be? I'm not smiling. He brushes off some sawdust. Silver Pines, Community Access Lodge. Got the plans last month. Fast-tracked you folks, organized this stuff well. I don't live in Silver Pines, I tell him, flat as can be. You're standing on my property, and you just admitted to building an unauthorized structure on my land. He laughs like I'm the joke. Yeah, that's what the last guy said. Board showed him paperwork. This shoreline's been shared for years, some understanding. Maybe check with your HOA rep. I pull out my phone and start recording. Do I look like a guy who needs permission to access his own damn lake? He gets a little nervous now, mutters he's just doing his job, and strolls off toward a black SUV parked on the edge. I stay right where I am, scanning the mess. Solar-powered cameras watching my lake boxes of HOA, branded folding chairs, event supplies. I call the sheriff right then and there. While I'm waiting, I dig out the most recent property survey from the glove box, GPS coordinates, lot lines, even historic easement maps. And I call my lawyer David with that same pit in my stomach you get when you know things are about to get ugly. 35 minutes later, Deputy Rubin pulls up. Nice enough guy, I'd seen him at the farm supply fundraiser once. Trespassing complaint, he asks, already eyeing the lodge. Wait, this wasn't here last month. Nope, I say, because I didn't hand out permits to a suburban HOA. He whistles, looks at the survey, the lines, the lot overlays. Silver Pines, huh? They say they have permission. Let me guess, some oral agreement with a former owner. Cute, I tell him, pointing to the documents. No subdivision, no joint access. This is as legal as a meth lab in your backyard. He rubs his neck, says maybe zoning needs to handle this. I let him know I've already called my attorney. But before we go to court, I want names. Who authorized this? Who signed the orders? Who thought a fishing lodge sounded like something you just drop on a stranger's land? Contractors are suddenly a whole lot more cooperative. I get their statements on video, told it was community land, board cleared it, all that jazz. Sun's going down and I'm pacing, still waiting for the other shoe to drop. Maybe this is just a mix-up, I think. But really, I know better. There's always someone, let's call her Karen, who thinks she can bulldoze her way through property lines and common sense. Next morning, I'm up before sunrise, coffee in hand, just standing there staring at the lodge like if I look hard enough, it'll disappear. I call in Dean, my old surveyor buddy. Dean's one of those tech nerds who's allergic to paperwork and loves a good boundary dispute. He rolls up with a trunk full of gear and a drone already warming up. He starts rechecking all the parcel lines, GPS markers, overlays, laser scans. I'm digging through old family papers, deeds from the 60s, even a letter from the water board confirming I'm the only one with riparian rights. And then, like she's late for a show, Karen herself arrives. White sedan, expensive sunglasses, clipboard clutched like a shield. Two board members behind her faces set like they're backup singers. Mr. Darrow, she calls out in this voice that says, I run this neighborhood. We're here to clarify some confusion. I don't let her finish. You trespassed. You built a lodge on private property. What's confusing? She flashes a patronizing smile, rattles off Silver Pines has always used this lake. Historical access, community use, local kids, all that. I cut her off. Illegally. Which makes it trespassing. You don't get to break the law just because you've done it for a while. She tilts her head like I'm the difficult one. We've committed resources, labor, community funds. This is for peaceful recreation. I can't help but laugh. You built a structure on my land. There's nothing peaceful about what's coming next. Her eyes narrow. We have documentation. Our maps show shared green space. Your maps are fiction. Dean's already walking over, pulls up a satellite overlay. Here's the official boundary. Here's the lodge 31 feet inside Mr. Darrow's property. The entire build site is on his parcel. Karen sputters, that can't be right. One of her board members just stares pale and mutters, oh, damn. Karen tries to double down, talks about customary use, implied easement, all these legal buzzwords. I shut her down. No documented access, no right-of-way. No doctrine says you get to build toilets on my land because someone once walked their dog too far. She's getting frustrated, but I'm done. Police reports filed, legal complaints in progress. You'll be hearing from my attorney. For a split second, she flinches. Then she storms off, board members trailing like lost puppies. Dean shakes his head, says, people like her don't believe rules apply to them at all. I pay him forward his survey results to David, and by noon my lawyers drafted a cease and desist, a notice of intent to sue for trespass and unpermitted development. But Karen's not done, not even close. That evening, a certified letter shows up Silver Pines' legal team threatening me for obstructing a community asset and damaging morale unless I let them use my land. They're not even subtle about it. Community tradition is a legal argument. Honestly, you can't make this up. I scan it all, send it to David, then check the county permit portal. Nothing. No permits, no zoning variants, nothing but arrogance. Next thing I know, a Facebook group pops up, Stop Lake Gate, Reclaim Public Nature. The post has Karen's fingerprints all over it. She calls me a selfish landowner, says I forged documents, claims I'm threatening neighbors. The post blows up. Comments shares angry emoji reactions. People talk about protests, paddling in, even contacting the news. Then it gets real. That afternoon, my motion sensor pings. I check the cameras, 3 guys dragging a canoe down my driveway, pop-up tents on my shore, classic rock on a Bluetooth speaker, beer coolers, the works. Looks like a tailgate party on my private lake. I head down GoPro, rolling calm as I can be. Hey there, I say, stopping by their fire pit. What's going on? One guy barely looks up, just enjoying the lake. This lake's private property, I tell him. Nah, another says, not even glancing at me. Karen said this was HOA Greenbelt being reclaimed. I breathe. You're trespassing and you're being recorded. The lodge is the subject of a criminal complaint. I suggest you leave peacefully. The third guy, already drunk, puffs his chest. You threatening us? This ain't your land, man. You're blocking nature. He pokes my chest. I don't say a word. Just step back, call the sheriff. When he grabs my wrist, I react. Twist, drop him in the dirt, nothing fancy. He curses, but he's not going anywhere. The other 2 go still. We didn't know, man. Karen said, yeah, Karen says a lot. Sheriff Rubin arrives, sees me holding down a grown man like a teenager caught shoplifting. Everything okay here, he asks. I have footage they're trespassing, you know the drill. He separates us, cites the drunk guy for assault and trespass, lets the others go with a warning. I decide not to press charges, for now. But my mailbox gets selfish pricks spray painted on it that night, so I install more lights, cameras, geofencing alerts, and bolt a steel lockbox to my gatepost full of laminated deeds, survey maps, legal letters, just in case. Next day, protesters. Not with fishing rods, but with picket signs. Stop the lake. Lockdown we pay. HOA dues. No fascists on our shore. They stay on their side of the property line, yelling about freedom and recreation. I sip coffee on the porch and call David again. They're digging their own legal graves, he says. I just watch, wondering how much further this will go. Monday, I bring everything, screenshots, videos, witness statements to David's office. His paralegal just sighs. Karen apparently has declared psychological warfare. David's already flipping through leaked HOA bylaws. Turns out Silver Pines funds are supposed to be used strictly inside their own boundary. So spending nearly 30 grand on a lodge, on my land, that's gonna sting. By noon, David files a 3-part civil suit, illegal construction, environmental damage, criminal trespass. Plus a separate complaint with the Department of Ecology, photos, drone shots, all of it. Then we flag the HOA with the tax office for misuse of funds. That afternoon, I put up a barricade gate and a giant sign, private easement, no community access, trespassers will be prosecuted. Little QR code in the corner links straight to the lawsuit. By Wednesday, their Facebook group has gone from angry to unhinged. Karen posts about being under attack by a land baron. Someone comments back links to the real parcel map, and well, let's just say the comment gets more likes than Karen's post. That evening, I get a knock. It's Jessica, a Silver Pines resident. Nervous but kind. Not all of us support Karen. My husband and I, we've seen what's happening. You're not alone. She hands me an internal HOA memo. Karen's timeline for lakefront reclamation. More docks lighting Phase 2 features, all without a vote. I thank her. She disappears fast. David files for an emergency injunction. But before the hearing, the Department of Ecology shows up. 3 inspectors, clipboards official as can be. They spend hours checking the shoreline, shaking their heads. Unauthorized structures, no permits, tree removal. Whoever did this is in deep trouble. That's the first time I feel a little relief. Like maybe, just maybe, the world isn't as broken as it sometimes seems. Monday morning, county environmental review calls. We're issuing a citation to Silver Pines for violation of the Buffer Protection Ordinance. 47 grand in fines, mandatory restoration, everything to be removed in 30 days. I send it to David, pour myself the blackest cup of coffee I've had in weeks. Finally, the HOA cracks. Mass email goes out, minor dispute, some procedural oversights remain calm. They call a $47,000 fine a minor dispute. The next day, Karen tries to apologize, sort of. It reads more like a threat. I forward it to David translation, she's panicking. Then a plainclothes investigator from the auditor's office shows up. We're opening an inquiry into potential financial misconduct. Mind if I see your evidence? He loves the Phase 2 memo Jessica gave me, the one about public perception management. He asks, would you be willing to testify if needed? I nod. I'm all in. 2 weeks later, I'm in court, binder in hand, suit pressed, nerves steady. The room's packed, HOA members on one side, Karen at the front, pale as paper. David lays it all out, surveys old deeds, witness testimony, environmental reports, even calls Jessica as a witness. She confirms everything. Then the county prosecutor stands up. We've opened a criminal inquiry into the HOA president for misuse of funds and document fraud. The judge's preliminary ruling, all access to the lake suspended. Lodge closed. No communication from the board until the case is over. A week later, I'm back for the verdict. This time, Karen looks hollow. The judge reads the findings in my favor on all counts. HOA is to pay $285,000 in damages, $60,000 in fines, remove all lodge structures within 30 days, and Karen is referred for criminal investigation, barred from any HOA role for 10 years. It's over. I don't gloat, I just walk out, drive home, and for the first time in weeks I can breathe. Within days, demolition crews rip out the lodge. Everything's gone, every plank, every sign, every trace. Silver Pines loses half its members. Karen gets arrested for fraud, her name scrubbed from every record like she never existed. Reporters try to make me into some hero. I turn most of them down, but I do one interview. The reporter asks, what would you have done if Karen had just knocked and asked? And you know what I tell her, the truth? I probably would have said no, but I'd have respected her for having the decency to ask. The story goes viral. People send me messages from all over, sharing their own HOA horror stories, thanking me for standing my ground. I don't want fame, I just want peace. The lake's quiet again. The forest is growing back. I rebuild my grandfather's old canoe rack. Sometimes I sit on the dock at dawn, thermos in hand, watching the water ripple, feeling the quiet settle back in my bones. Every now and then I see someone approach the new sign, Families Hikers. They read it, look around, and turn back without trying the gate. Good, the message is clear. Then the last text from David. Karen just took a plea. 1 year probation, restitution, community service, no jail, but her records are wrecked. I don't reply. Some endings don't need applause, they just need silence. Now let me ask you this. Where do you draw the line between standing up for what's yours and letting it go for the sake of peace? Have you ever had someone just take what wasn't theirs and act like you were the problem for not sharing? Drop your stories, your opinions, hell, even your own little revenge tales in the comments? Because I've got a feeling I'm not the only one who's seen just how wild things get when you try to protect what's rightfully yours.